Oscar, his quality of performances, combined with Liam Lawson finishing ahead of Yuki Tsunoda as well this race, held him off at the end, proving that rookies can do it in their first season.
Unless you're in a Williams.
I wanted to talk about Lawson a bit because, I mean, there's nothing more Lawson could have done this year.
All right, Lawson, okay.
Is there? But I think Sargent...
We'll get to Sargent.
Yeah, sorry. I thought
kind of a bit of both, really, because... I think the question was asked of Christian. Sky asked him yesterday. It was like, what more could he have done this year?
Nothing.
You can't, Lawson's been fantastic. This could be, maybe he'll be in the seat for Qatar. Maybe not. We don't know. For him to not be in a seat next year is a bit rough. But then Ricciardo, Tsunoda. What do we make of AlphaTauri's Red Bull's decision?
I said in my video actually that it was, and I knew this was gonna come in terms of all three of those drivers, in my opinion, were good enough for that seat and almost deserved it as well. Like, I still think that Ricciardo has something to contribute as well. I know that he got a little bit of backlash after this, after a lot of people thought it was a bit harsh that obviously Lawson got left out, but one of those drivers was always going to, get left out and still deserve it. But I think it's one of those cases for Red Bull where with Lawson, it's a long-term plan. They're going to get him in. I think they've got that vision of Perez out for 2025, Ricciardo in the Red Bull, and then Lawson steps up for 2025 proper for AlphaTauri. So yeah, Lawson's still got plenty of years left, but you never know when the next Red Bull Junior is going to come and you get, basically superseded by the next guy. So it's tricky.
That's the concern. That's the only concern I would have if I'm Liam Lawson, is there's so many Red Bull Juniors at the moment. And a lot of them felt like they were kind of a step away from being good enough. Well, not a lot of them. A couple of them felt like they were a step away, like Iwasa, for example.
Halgar won F3, but hasn't
really stepped up when he's gone to F2 and stuff. You got
as well.
Hajar's been all right.
Yeah, you got Maloney.
Maloney's been all right.
Maloney's been like a bit better towards the end of the season.
There's about 6 of them to choose from, just F2 alone.
But I mean, if a lot of them are going into a second season in F2, Halger and a couple others like Deruvla and shit, have been there for ages, but a couple of them are going into a second season now. If someone like an Iwasa or a Maloney, for example, wins F2 next season, that is a headache for Red Bull to consider. Potentially.
It is, I guess.
I suppose
Liam Lawson's already proven it in a Formula One
car.
I
mean, Lawson could well win Super Formula. He's got the finale in Suzuka in next month.
This was the warm-up as well. His title decider.
Yeah, exactly.
But I tell you what a stinker from Red Bull and Helmut Marko to not put Lawson in that seat and put in De Vries instead.
Oh yeah, massively. Yeah.
Can I just really quickly just to defend De Vries, because I've got to do it.
This is hard.
In my opinion, after that Williams performance and off the back of his junior career, he deserved a chance in Formula One. I'm never going to be one of those people that's
I agree.
annoyed about the fact that he got a chance in Formula One. He chose the wrong team. He should have gone with the Williams. Not only was AlphaTauri the wrong team, it was the wrong environment. The way they threw him out and the way they didn't even care about him even afterwards, it showed that it was the wrong environment from the very beginning. Because I genuinely think that if he went to Williams, I'm not saying he would have been amazing, but he would have done better than what he did this year. So ultimately it was his choice, wasn't it? He chose to go to AlphaTauri because he saw that Red Bull opportunity, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was confirmed that Williams actually offered him a seat. I'm not actually sure.
I think Jos Capito, he was ready.
Maybe. But I guess, I think in isolation, De Vries, I think, merited the opportunity. But for Red Bull to actively not look at Lawson, not consider Lawson, and just go for De Vries, obviously, if that had gone the other way, I can only assume that Lawson would have done as good a job as he is now. And
at the start of the season.
Yeah, and would still, it would still be him and Tsunoda now, and Ricciardo wouldn't have got a sniff, most likely.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think it kind of shows the brutality of F1 as well, because when you have so many different options to choose from, you then have the what's paradox? I can't remember exactly what it's called.
Yeah,
it's like you have too many choices, and you have too many good options that you end up making a decision that's
it's easy to say in hindsight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, you could say De Vries shouldn't have been given the seat, but as I think to Aldis's point, it was the circumstances and the build up of what led to it. You can understand why they made that decision.
Yeah, because even at the start of the season, we were kind of all saying I don't know if any of the Red Bull Juniors are proper ready. I remember saying that. I've definitely said that on camera on this show. I was like, Iwasa's good, Lawson's good, but neither of them like absolutely blitzed F2. So maybe just give him like one more season, and then De Vries
Yeah.
wasn't the guy. Lawson's come in and done a good job. I feel bad for him, but
Yeah, and look, I think
as long as that place is there for him potentially.
I mean, he's
next season,
he's chilling in Harvard right now.
Yeah,
he's confirmed as a Red Bull reserve, but also Christian was asked yesterday about whether Lawson to Williams could be a thing, and Christian didn't say no. He didn't shut it down. But also, we were talking about this in the live stream. I think that I don't think there's a massive upside for Williams to take Lawson. Do I think he'd do a better job than Sargent? Yes.
For just the 1 year.
And then he goes back to a direct competitor. So is there
just
enough in
prime
it?
him for someone else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah,
You're totally right. That's why.
And a direct competitor as well.
Yeah,
not just
Christian
another thing,
Horner,
a direct competitor.
he didn't say no, Williams is not an option. He said, he said Williams wouldn't, I don't think Williams would take him for 1 year. And that means that he's planning to get Lawson in the AlphaTauri for 2025. And yeah, for Williams, it just doesn't make sense. Like you get one good year of Lawson, brilliant. But then you're literally giving him to a direct competitor like AlphaTauri. We don't know obviously where they're going to be, but you're developing another team's driver who potentially, is going to then bite you in the backside in 2025. So yes, it would be good in the short term, but it's just not worth it for only 1 year. They would want a 2 year commitment minimum from Lawson.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, because it's just
And Oscar showed, with Alpine that you can have a year on the sidelines and still keep fresh. And Red Bull need to give Lawson as much like track time as they can possibly give him, and maybe give him another season of Super Formula, maybe because he could end up winning that.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be a good idea for him to stay out of.
Again, he battered Albon. He battered Albon in DTM. Don't forget that as well. Like he was the best. No, he wasn't the highest placed rookie because he wasn't a rookie last year, but he finished ahead of Sargent in F2 last year as well. Came through at the end. So yeah, I mean, he's got all of the ingredients.